Greetings from the East Africa Philanthropy Network. My name is Purity Momo, and these are the Ubuntu Stories of Impact. Get ready for a great conversation with a pace setter in the realm of adolescent empowerment. We have the privilege of sitting down with the CEO and founder of Raising Teenagers Uganda, Ms. Hope Nankunda. With a mission to guide and uplift teenage girls in Uganda, this organization has pioneered great initiatives in education, in SRHR, in climate action, and in counseling. So join us as we uncover the passion, the challenges, and the successes that drive Hope's commitment to shaping a future where every girl in Uganda can thrive. Welcome to this dialogue. Karibu sana Hope to Nairobi. Karibu to the European Member Summit, and welcome to this conversation. Please tell us more about yourself, and you could also share the inspiration behind founding Raising Teenagers Uganda, and maybe the vision you had for empowering young girls in Uganda.
All right. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Hope.
My name is Hope Nankunda, like I've been introduced, and I lead a team at Raising Teenagers Uganda. I am a teacher by profession, but I no longer do active teaching, but once a teacher, always a teacher.
Sure.
So while teaching a few years when I just started, I realized that many girls were having challenges attending school every day of their lives. And I realized that we needed to understand why they don't come to school every day, just like a bonus. And I started a one-on-one program with some of those key young people who shared with me their challenges, especially with regards to menstruation. To the extent that it was not about not having the products, but also the fear. So meaning that some girls will have, but still are stigmatized and do not want to come to school in those days, so that boys cannot notice or cannot make fun of them. So because I was doing more one-on-one talk than teaching, I decided to again go back to school and do adolescent counseling, so that I can comfortably create an environment where many young people can freely talk to me, but also I being able to speak to their parents, especially on issues of parenting and specifically parenting their teenagers.
Okay.
So that is how Raising Teenagers was started, to create a platform where every teenager can be able to come and share their challenges or issues as they transit from childhood to adulthood.
Okay.
Yeah, that is how we started.
And you started from a very motherly perspective, and that's very kind of you. So Hope, how have the counseling programs, the school clubs, and initiatives on sexual reproductive health and rights impacted the lives of teenage girls and boys in schools and communities in Uganda?
Yeah, there's something magical about creating safe spaces for young people.
True.
Because many times you think that the young people are free to speak whenever they can, but there are those issues which are dear to them, and they can't go around talking about them to just anyone. So we decided to introduce school clubs in a number of schools in Uganda, where we specifically meet a few days in a month, and we just come together to share those challenges, personal challenges, as they seek guidance, as they seek support, and also as we also offer them overwhelming assurance that they are not alone. And this has transpired into seeing more girls actually stay in school, as opposed to when they just run away because of stigma that comes with menstruation. These clubs are not only for girls, but they are also for boys. So we make sure that every club we have introduced in the school, it has both boys and girls. And the reason why we have boys on board is because we want them to appreciate that issues affecting girls are not so unique to just a few girls.
Sure.
They are unique for every girl in this world. So the boys need to understand that while they are laughing at a particular girl because she messed her dress up and she could not maybe count her days well and made a mistake or whatever. We want them to know that that could also happen to their own sister.
Sure.
It can happen to their cousin. It can happen to their mother. It can happen to their auntie. So we want to build a nation where boys really appreciate menstruation and actually are part of the solution, especially in regards to breaking the stigma. So we have seen the boys become more helpful, more supportive to the girls in the school. We have seen them ask questions, because sometimes we imagine that it's obvious, everyone should know that girls will menstruate when they turn 13 or 14, you know. But these boys, some of them are not aware of what happens with a girl. So they have been able to use these clubs to get this information. And not only for them, but also to share this information with other boys that they meet in their day-to-day lives, so that they are part of the solution of breaking stigma that surrounds menstruation.
Incredible. And what challenges have you encountered in your efforts to educate teenagers about the consequences of early sex, child marriage, and teenage pregnancy? And how has the organization addressed these challenges?
I think one of the biggest challenges that we have seen is that we have absentee parents. Parents are very busy. They are, even those who are not busy, do not find it as important to sit their children down and talk to them about life, puberty, body changes. So you find that parent will believe that, oh, this girl is in boarding school, so the teachers should talk about these things. It's not my work as a parent. But also at school, the teachers expect children to come with this information from the parents. So along the way, you find that children lack the information, and the teachers and parents believe that the other is giving the information. So the challenge we have found is that we don't only have to teach or get to the young people, the teenagers, we also have to involve the parents. So we organize parenting seminars in schools where we try to really help parents on how to talk to their children. Now it even sounds funny when you say that. Okay, helping a parent on how to talk to their children. But we've seen parents who will say, holiday has come, I'm sending my daughter. You have to talk to her, you know. And in my head, I'm like, okay, we have work to do. Because even that holiday, I also have my daughters that I'm actually sitting with and talking to. So we try to educate parents about positive parenting, but also on how to accommodate teenagers. Because teenage season is a rare season, especially in terms of character and behavior change. So we see a lot of change in behavior. We've had parents and children who don't agree with each other, and there is a lot of confusion, and some of them will not even meet or talk in the house. So we find that we need to introduce positive parenting practices that really help children to understand their parents, but also parents to understand their children. And this was deliberately done to ensure that we don't take a big load to the school. Because already the schools have their timetables, they have what they have to do. The teachers have aligned work for them. So we try to involve parents as much as possible. But we've also seen, we encourage those who fail to speak to their children, but at least find some support system. If you can't talk to your daughter, at least have an auntie in the family where you can say, oh, it's holiday, can you spend your weekend at auntie so-and-so? And you as a parent, you alert the auntie, I'm sending my daughter, these should be the talking points.
Sure.
Yeah, because sometimes you know what you need to talk about, but you're like, how do I even start talking to this girl of mine? So we try to bridge the gap within the parenting system so that we see behavior change and accommodation for the teenagers.
Okay. Good work. Good job you're doing in Uganda. Talk to us about the reusable sanitary pad program, which I believe has supported a significant number of girls. Could you maybe elaborate on the impact it has had on girls and specifically their school attendance, and how you envision expanding the program's reach maybe in the coming years?
So when we had just started Raising Teenagers Uganda, and of course after seeing the gap that there was in terms of school attendance for girls, we decided to do a campaign to get interested persons to get on board and support us to keep girls in school.
Okay.
By keeping girls in school, we actually wanted them to support the girls with sanitary products.
Okay.
And here we were seeking out for sanitary products, but also mindful that if a person gives you 2 packs of reusable or disposable sanitary pads, it means that this girl will menstruate and manage this month, but next month she'll be waiting for you to give more. And that is when we said, why don't we venture into reusable? So we got into partnership with Free Pads Uganda, who have actually been part of our bigger support system.
Okay.
Because we've got individuals donating through the foundation.
Okay.
And they only call us and say, we are having these packs, please come pick them, take to the girls. And that has been quite overwhelming for me, especially where you find that someone makes a donation and even says, I'm anonymous, don't talk about me, but let these cards go to Hope in Uganda because she knows where to take them.
Okay.
So that kind of confidence that some people have put in me is actually what keeps me going.
Okay.
But also, even when those donations are made, and we reach out to the girls and distribute these pads, which take them a maximum of 2 years, we realize that we still wouldn't manage because if the donations are not there, then that means the girls will miss school.
True.
And that is when we said, why don't we train the girls themselves? And this training, we decided Senators start with the girls in the refugee settlements. The reason why we said let's do the refugee settlement was because of the unique challenges that refugees face. You see them coming day in, day out. They come with just one cloth. But you know, when periods are coming, they won't warn you. They won't even know that you have one dress, so they should not come to you.
Okay.
That's how funny it is. So we are going to train the girls. Start with the girls. The girls in refugee settlement.
Okay.
So we started this program in Nachivale, and that's in Western Uganda, it's Regional District, where we trained over 300 girls. And we did not only train them to make their own sanitary pads, but also encourage them to make as more as possible so that they can also earn and income.
Okay.
That way, you would know that maybe you're not only giving the pads, but also this girl can buy Vaseline, can buy lotion, can buy food, you know, all those basic things that a girl would want and wouldn't want to go to a man and exchange their body for sex so that they can get these basic needs. So that training has really taken us a long way because we did not only stop on that because those machines which you provided are permanent, they're there. So training has continued. We keep getting more girls to be trained, but also to make extra pads for the other refugees in the settlements.
Okay. Bravo. Hope, I would like to know the strategies and the approaches you employ on stakeholder engagement and collaboration. And you've already talked to us about how you engage with parents. But how do you also engage with teachers and community leaders to spread awareness about the value of educating and keeping the girl child in school?
Oh yes, we work with teachers directly because most of our partnerships are with schools.
Okay.
And because we can't be in a school every day, it's only logical that you work directly with the patrons in the schools and the head teachers so that they have this message passing on day after day to the girl child. We also work with local leaders because leaders in the community have a big role to play, especially in issues of child protection. Where girls have been forced into marriage, we have engaged local leaders to ensure that the perpetrators are not just left to move around. If you must have seen, many times when we are even with media, when they are reporting about teenage pregnancy and child marriage, they'll talk about the girls. It's as if these girls get themselves pregnant. No one wants to talk about the traitors. Who got this girl pregnant? Where is he? Was he arrested? Was he charged? You know? So we try to engage local leaders as much as possible law enforcement leaders so that we are able to arrest the perpetrators in the communities, but also to have some of them as our whistleblowers. We have had some of them alert us when there is a function and there is a marriage ceremony for 14-year-olds. Many times we have surprises. There are people who have arranged events and arrested the people that have come to take that. And that happens because we have got into a partnership with these leaders who will say, this is about to happen, please come. Come save this girl. And that has really been helpful. We've also worked directly with the media, especially for radio programs, because we want our message not only to stay with the girls we meet in the schools, but also even those we can't reach because of the limited resources. If I'm on a radio program, I'll know that different parents, different teachers, different girls themselves will listen in the different parts of the country. And while they listen, we don't know at what level our message can touch someone. So what we can do is share this message. So we do that as much as possible with media so that we are able to reach out to as many people as possible. We've also worked with the different departments in the government. Ministry of Gender. We have worked directly with them because they're the ones that put in place the national strategy to end child marriage, which we have been part and parcel in ensuring that it is not only disseminated to the local leaders, but also training the local leaders and the district leaders on how to actually align their work towards achieving what is in the strategy. So when we work with government, sometimes it makes work a little easier, because the burden is not on you alone. You are working as a whole, and it makes a whole lot of difference. And maybe another strategy that really, really works so much for me is partnerships. Now, partnerships and networks are magical. Because one, they help us to avoid working in silos. So you go to a school, this school today, tomorrow another organization comes with the same message you gave yesterday. Yet we have other places that have never seen any organization. So by working with networks, we have been able to reach out to a bigger number of girls and parents, but also we've been able to share resources. We've been able to share learning and best practices and have success stories that can encourage other participants so that they are able to continue making a difference that they want to see.
Now, you've just mentioned what was going to be my third question for you. Apart from the East Africa Philanthropy Network, which other network in Uganda, maybe globally, do you belong to that has been very instrumental in shaping your mission as Raising Teenagers Uganda?
As Raising Teenagers Uganda, when we talk about networks, the first one I talk about is Girls Not Brides. I joined Girls Not Brides network in 2016. At that time, I was doing a lot of work, but it was not known by anyone. Like, you are doing your own work.
We couldn't recognize.
With yourself, and you're doing a lot, but no one knows. And when no one knows about our work, even those who would inspire will miss out. So when I got into Girls Not Brides, one of the benefits I immediately got was visibility of the work I do, because they encourage members, please share with us your stories, share with us your reports, let us see what you're doing, let us see your best practices. And that has been quite significant for us as Raising Teenagers. We are the coordinators for the Central Region for the Girls Not Brides Uganda. And through that kind of coordination, we have had a number of events that we organize that bring together not only young people, but also partners to have joint events. Sometimes because of resources, you will fear to make an event because you can't do with the little money you have. Now, when we organize joint events, I'll give an example of Girls Summits, because we started hosting Girls Summits in 2018. And since then, we have never stopped. Just this week, starting on 30th, we'll be having our 6th National Girls Summit. And these are put in place to create an environment where girls can come together, share what they have learned, but also inspire fellow young girls. Because sometimes what young girls need is a platform
True.
Yeah, where I can sit and people listen to me and I inspire another young girl and say, oh, if she can speak,
Then I also can. True.
So we want to create as many opportunities as possible for the young people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So in your community dialogues, Hope, how do you sensitize community leaders about the challenges of reproductive health faced by teenagers, and what role do they play in supporting your initiatives?
So when we talk about reproductive health,
Yeah,
it's quite a sensitive area that sometimes even parents don't want to talk about. Like they don't want to believe that actually their little girl at 10 or 11 could become pregnant. And I think one of the challenges we faced is that because of that, like holding information to themselves and you don't give it out to the children, you find that these girls maybe could have seen the cases of teenage pregnancy. I don't think it's because the girls are excited about being mothers. It is because they have no connection. They don't know that actually pregnancy and periods are related. Some girls have no idea that once you have started the periods, if you go and sleep around with women, you will get pregnant. They don't have that information. They only find out when they are already pregnant. And this is a big challenge that we continue to challenge parents. Please give this information to the children. Even for those who are victims of rape, if we knew how to address such challenges, a child is told, if anyone ever rapes you, run, report. Maybe you can even avoid the teenage pregnancy if it's reported so early and you will take it to a health center. But information is lacking among young people, and the reason is because parents feel like that is talk for adults. Like that's one of the people. We can't talk about sex with children.
And that's a problem.
It's a problem. And actually it's now much bigger with the social media and phones and laptops that children have access to, because they have a lot more information than the parents themselves. So if all parents would believe that and actually invest in talking and guiding the children, there would be a lot difference that can be made. Now, the other challenge, of course, is with the health workers, where you find that they are not friendly. Children fear to go there. Maybe you want to go and ask about some services, but you're like, hey, how do I approach this one? And maybe what will be her response? So having friendly corners at health centers would be helpful, but they're not so lonely. And of course, that places a big challenge. So if the girls and the boys were able to access this information, I think would make a very big difference. And also, when you talk about these things, sometimes we tend to forget the boy child. We talk about teenage pregnancy, we don't talk about teenage fatherhood. Because we have had cases where the parents of the little baby are also little. The father is 13 and the mother is 14 and the baby is 0. So you're having a teenage boy, a teenage girl starting parenting at a very wrong time.
Sure.
So it's important that even as we do this work, we involve boys and men as much as possible. And the message should be the challenges that come with being a father at a young age. Boys need to know that you don't just get people pregnant and then we go away. Because I think right now that's what's happening. They don't mind because they're not taking responsibility. So I can afford to get 20 girls pregnant and I'll still stay as me. No one will know because I didn't become pregnant and there's no evidence that I got the girls pregnant. So when we have information going to boys and them understanding that the challenges that are involving themselves in early sexual activity, we can actually reduce the numbers of teenage pregnancies, but also the numbers of boys that are becoming fathers
at a young age. Thank you for that, Hope. Wow. Okay. Raising Teenagers Uganda, you seem to stand against gender inequality. So how do you actively advocate for gender equality and challenge discriminatory norms? Yeah.
First, for starters, I think what stands out more is the fact that we have cultural norms and beliefs that position girls at a certain angle.
Mm-hmm.
We have been to places where you find that the girl will tell you, as soon as I have my first period, my next period should not find me in my father's house.
Okay.
So you find that that kind of belief puts girls at risk. They are already scared for having their first period because it means you must get married, you must get out of your father's house. And as a way to address this, we are working directly with the culture and religious leaders. Why? Because we know that these are key people or key personalities that are well respected in society. And if they say something, many parents would listen. So we have had champions, some of them as religious leaders and some of them as culture leaders. And they are now the ones getting our message of do not send away a girl because she has do not marry off a girl because she has become pregnant. We also have that challenge where teenage pregnancy is automatic promotion to marriage. I don't even know what it means. It's a promotion or not, you know? Like
Graduation.
if you have become pregnant, there's no question. You are going to get married whether you want or not. We are trying to say these girls actually, some of them get pregnant out of lack of knowledge. They get pregnant because they have been raped. So it is not fair that because a 12-year-old girl is pregnant, you automatically say you must get married. So we are working with culture leaders and parents to ensure that people start to distinguish between teenage pregnancy and forcing the girl into marriage. And we believe that as soon as society appreciates that fact, we shall be able to save as many girls as possible. Because we have seen so many who actually gave birth like at 14, but went back to school and they are now being raped. They finished school, they are working, they are making a difference. Sure. So we want people to know that pregnancy should not mean end of education. Like that should be very, very key. Because right now we have people who believe that if you have become pregnant,
that's the end of it.
To school. We are saying that needs to stop.
Thank you for that help. It's amazing work you're doing in Uganda. And sustainable goal number 5 is a focus for the organization. How do you plan to further empower women and girls to achieve that goal?
I think our goal is ensuring that these girls are able to not only access education, but also stay in school and work.
Okay.
And we believe that a girl who has acquired education has a chance to make informed decisions, informed choices about her body, her life, and who to marry and when to marry. Because once a girl has graduated, maybe now they can know, oh, I want to get married tomorrow, or I am choosing to go for my master's. After my master's degree, I'll get married. And if I get married, I'll give birth to 2 children or 3. But when we don't have education for girls, then we continue to see young girls having like 10 children by the age of 30, you know. So we believe that by educating girls, we are contributing to goal number 5, but also empowering them with soft skills. Now we have seen girls who are educated, who have passed with a first degree or second upper, but you take them for an interview to get a job and the two don't match. The person who got a first class and the one who's here for an interview. So by empowering
and
them,
what have you identified to be the problem?
They lack soft skills, like standing up for themselves, the confidence they need, the self-esteem, being able to negotiate and actually put what they need on the table is a problem. So we find that preparing girls for employment is like tending to be another plan of itself. Yes, you have studied and finished, but before we thought when you finished and graduated, you're done, you're ready to go work. But now we realize that actually they are not ready. They go to work and they don't even know what to do.
Yeah.
So empowering girls with soft skills is really, really important, and I would encourage everyone that is working with young people to build their esteem and confidence. Someone who can stand up and speak and defend what they are saying. Not someone who will be told, go here, and they go, remove your knicker, and they remove, because they only know you should follow instruction in life. So let us try to empower girls with skills that can enable them to make informed decisions and informed choices about their lives.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. And how do you integrate climate education and advocacy into your programs? And why did you consider climate action?
Yeah. Climate action is very urgent.
Very.
We've seen the damage that has been done, and unless we become intentional to be part of the solution today, not tomorrow morning, today, then we are heading for trouble, and our children will pay a big price. So we decided to integrate climate action and education into our work, so that children and young people can understand that actually the trees that they are seeing, which are being cut, they were planted by many people who died long ago. So if they had not planted them as well, maybe the situation would even be worse. We want children to invest in being part of the solution by planting trees, but also not only planting, but taking care of them.
Okay.
And by taking care of them, it means, one, you talk to your neighbor about the importance of having these trees. Like the program we have in schools and communities is planting fruit trees in schools and at household level. And why fruit trees is because, one, it's not just a tree. It will actually feed you when you are very hungry.
Sure.
So we want children to know that actually they can be part and parcel of solving the challenges that are facing us today. And also, of course, we have seen that part of the problem is how we treat our environment, how we throw everything everywhere. So when we get children involved, they carry our message to themselves, peer-to-peer learning, because they'll see someone throwing the bottle and say, that is wrong, our teacher said. But also even them, they'll now know that if you throw this bottle or this polythene bag anywhere, it has an effect on the soil, and therefore, whatever you're planting, you may not get results. So that kind of education is not only for us to address climate justice, but also for children to know that there are things they can do even when they're still children, and they'll still make a difference.
So, could you share more about the partnership with schools in Western Uganda for tree planting, promoting both environmental protection and student well-being? Is it only in Western Uganda that you're carrying out this initiative?
Okay, so we are not only doing it in Western Uganda, but also in Central. But for the Western Uganda, maybe something key that I would want to share is that we have established climate justice clubs.
Great. Great.
Where these students come together weekly, once a week, learn and share about climate, but also check on the trees they have planted. You know, when you're working as a team, you hold each other accountable. So the reason why we did the clubs is for them to ensure that the trees stay alive, but also even them, they take it upon themselves to educate fellow students. Whether we are there or not, we want it to continue so that even these students who are in our clubs, as they phase out, they'll have groomed more students to appreciate the need to be part of the climate justice clubs. Now, for Central Uganda, we are right now working on a joint project, an exchange program with a school in Germany. And the reason why we decided to do an exchange program is for children in Uganda and children in Germany to know that climate change is not only in their environment. It is not only in their country. So in this program, we've had students in Germany share what's happening in Germany. in terms of climate change.
Okay.
Students in Uganda sharing the experience and the causes of climate crisis that we have, what has gone wrong. Each side is trying to share planning examples so that we know that actually, in Germany, this is what's happening. In Uganda, this is what's happening.
Okay.
And both schools are now planting. We're in the planting season where we are to have trees planted, and then the exchange program will continue going forward. I'm not sure. We don't have the resources. We are hopeful that along the way we shall get people who would love to support such an initiative so that the issue of climate justice is addressed as a global challenge, not just an country problem.
How do you go about assessing and measuring the impact of your work, Hope?
General?
Yes.
Okay. One, we start with the success stories.
Okay.
We have worked a journey, the number of our beneficiaries. I didn't talk about the education sponsorship, but we have girls that we sponsor.
Okay.
To have an education.
Okay.
And our sponsorship is such a big one because we support girls that are very, very bright and can get marks that can take them to good schools, but they can't afford to go to good schools.
Okay.
So we aim at taking them to the schools of their choice. We don't want the fact that they are bright but poor and mean that, you can't go to your school even when you got the marks. No. So we have had a number of individual sponsors. We don't have mechanism. We have so many people or so much money that's attached to sponsorship. Our girls of our sponsorship are supported by individuals in different parts of the world.
Okay.
These are people who have heard our work and they just approach us and say, we want to support the child. Who can we support? And it has been a journey that is so amazing. We have 2 now who are going to university, but they've been taken through a best school of their choice and they are performing so well. But at home, they are in a very, very sorry state. So we are saying that your situation at home should not determine how much education or what kind of quality education you should have access to. So we have measured impact through seeing how they are performing in school, but also success stories where girls have been able to complete school and share their stories. But also we have seen some girls that we are talking about teenage pregnancy and dropping out of school. We have supported girls that have become pregnant, delivered, and we have intentionally supported them in going to school.
Okay.
And we do this to show others that pregnancy should not mean marriage. And those girls who have gone back to school are performing as well as the other students in the same class. The difference is that how we have, because maybe one would ask, and they stigmatized, that they being laughed at. So that's a challenge. But how we have addressed it is that if a child has given birth, we try to encourage her to get position in another school where nobody knows about the history. And that helps us to deal with the issue of stigma and discrimination. So that has really helped us. But also the other ways of measuring our impact is enrollment and how managing menstruation has helped to have more girls in school. So when we had just started in some of the schools, you'd find that more girls are absent many times, often at home without reason. And our issues of addressing menstruation helped us to ensure that these girls attend school every day. So with the registers at school and working hand in hand with teachers, we are able to see that actually, compared to 5 years ago, we have more girls now at school and we're able to attend every day, just like that going to school.
Okay.
So that's also part of how we measure our success.
Okay. You just talked about hoping to attract resources and the right people to work with. So on matters climate education and advocacy, what kind of partnerships are you looking for?
We would want to have people that are willing to walk a journey with us to support more schools learn about climate, but also support the schools have access to seedlings and plant as many trees as possible.
Okay.
That is one. But also, too, we cannot say that we are addressing issues of climate change and we are only focusing on children. If you want to see a difference happen, we must take this message at household level and not general. We're calling a meeting, now we're in this hotel, we're kind of talking about climate change. No, we need to address this issue at a household level so that a parent, a sibling, mates, so the people in the home can actually appreciate that if I plant this mango and I allow it to grow, it will not only give me a fruit to eat, but it also gives me a shade. If I'm tired, I'm from the garden and I want to rest, I will sleep on that shade, or I will rest there. Yeah, it is that serious that there's a small thing that we don't even look at.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Sometimes you're stuck in the sun and you're looking for where to rest and you can't. Why? Because we have damaged the entire environment.
Okay.
So at household level, people will know that actually this mango tree will not only give me a fruit, it will give me a shade, it will give me medicine for cough. People use leaves to treat cough. So many things, and all that can only happen if we train the different stakeholders at community.
Thank you.
Training those people needs resources. And of course, partnerships can enable us to reach out.
Amazing.
Of course, we need partners that can enable us to continue sharing this message over and over again. And the more we share this message using different forms of platforms, it is only then that we shall register some positive change.
Great. Looking ahead, Hope, what are your plans for expanding your efforts in climate action and environmental sustainability?
My plans.
What are your plans? Are there any plans underway for that?
My plans are, I believe in the power of numbers. Our program that is running in one school cannot make a very big difference. Our plans is to expand and reach out to as many schools as possible, educate as many young boys and girls as possible, and have them take action and walk a journey with them as they take care of the trees they have planted, but also as they get platforms to share the information we have about climate change. If we do that, because young people are magical, young people know how to listen to each other. They don't listen to older people. Yes. They love listening to themselves. So the more young people you involve, the more difference you make. And our intention is to reach to as many schools as possible with a message of climate action, taking action at your own level. And starting small, because sometimes we have failed to act because we are waiting for a lot of money. When money comes, I will do this, and then it doesn't come. We want to encourage young people that they can start, even by making their own seedlings. If you have eaten a mango, where have you put the fruit, the seed? And do you know that this seed can actually grow into another mango? So that kind of raw knowledge that actually people lack today is what we want to pass on, and we want to do it in as many schools as possible. We say schools because that's where we find many children. If schools were not in place and we had to move from home to home, the work would be tedious. But we want to work with schools and universities and ensure that those big numbers are actually helping us to have the multiplier effect and achieve.
Great. In 3 sentences, where do you want to see Raising Teenagers Uganda in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I would want to see Raising Teenagers Uganda able to support over 1,000 girls to access education through sponsorship. I say through sponsorship because many times girls miss out just because they lack a pen, a book like this, and they can't go to school because of a book. So we want to be in a place where we can actually support about 1,000 girls. If it has to be scholastic materials, we're able to provide them, because you find this girl has actually worked and is in class seated, but cannot write anything because they have nowhere to write. It's an embarrassment to our generation.
That's true.
To the parents out there, it's an embarrassment. And you send a child to school without a pen, without a book, and you're okay. It is an embarrassment to this generation, and we need to fix this as much as possible and as early as possible.
Thank you very much, Hope. You seem to be a very great force in Uganda, making very heavy waves in the realm of adolescent empowerment. Thank you very much for speaking to us today. And we're looking forward to more spaces like this where we can always shape the narrative of the work that we do.
So much for having me.
Yeah.
And to all those that are listening, invest in giving. Give the little you have, and God will get even much more.
Thank you very much. And these are the Ubuntu Stories of Impact. My name is Purity Momo. See you on the next episode.